Welcome back to the Remna podcast. I am Joel Harris. That is Stanislav Kacha. Last night we had a most beautiful double date together.
Yeah, we did.
And with our partners.
Yeah.
And I was so excited, and Stan was so excited to come back to my home and watch Punch Drunk Love, the Paul Thomas Anderson
My first
film.
time?
Yeah. I was the only one in the room who had seen it before, and I hyped it up. And the movie finished, and the credits are rolling, and this beautiful song's playing. And I turned and I was like, wow, what an adorable little film. To like shocked faces, unsure faces. And I ended up crashing out quite hard when I found out that I did not hold the consensus in the room.
It's really funny when you show someone something you adore and like ultimately you can't help but hype it up like, so much because it's personal to you.
100%. And I think a lot of it was, we were expecting an Adam Sandler rom-com.
Yeah.
I realized I made no mention that it was very convention breaking.
Yeah.
It was, as I think you said it to me before, like an art house film starring an Adam Sandler
So
art
like
house
Paul Thomas
film.
Anderson, the director, referred to it as a art house Adam Sandler movie.
Yes.
I think that's actually the best way to sell it. Now that, because after the movie ended, your partner Steph was like, I thought it was a rom-com, and you were like, well, what is it? Kind of thing. And I was like, that is an interesting point though, because I would definitely not call it a rom-com, but like, it's true that it's romantic with comedy.
Yeah, but it has all the beats of a rom-com as well, I think. Like, when you think about it, it's got, like, the awkward meeting, the kind of falling in love, the falling head over heels for each other, all up to the point where love is the only thing that matters. And a lot of what rom-coms do is, like, love is life or death. And I've seen every Adam Sandler film. I am very familiar with his filmography. Go watch those videos at the Share House.
And you watch this pretty much back to back with all of those other movies.
Yes.
In hindsight.
Yeah.
So it's very fresh for you.
I was reviewing them with Mikey D, and he also loved it. And I don't think I gave him the pre-warning of like, I think this is quite different from what we've been watching. I told him to watch it with his partner and have a lovely time because I just love this movie that much. And I think I have rose-tinted glasses to stressful films like this because it is a bit of a stress fest, but I'm like, that's what makes you feel alive while watching the film. That's what gets it going. And we probably will spoil this film as we talk about it, just FYI.
Of course. Well, I think it's stressful, but then with like this kind of like this, it has this sort of sentiment at the end that like love gave this character almost superpowers, right?
Yes.
It's so like I was describing it to Sinead as like it's kind of like a fairy tale. I was saying in the car.
Yeah.
I was like, it's actually kind of like a fairy tale, but in like a really strange way. It's not trying to be like real life, and I think that's probably where it differs to like a rom-com. I think a rom-com is still grounded in some reality, but in sort of a sappy sort of, you know what I mean? Like a soapy kind of reality where it's like, they get the girl at the end. Whereas like I felt like this one was more genuine in its pursuit of getting there.
And they're both like weirdos. You can see how built for each other the two characters are. Like they're written to kind of like fit together like jigsaw pieces.
Yeah, they are.
My big confusion at the end was like, all right, so it's defied expectations. At what point can you be like, okay, this movie is going to be something different than what I thought it was going to be. Let me enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
Because like on that fairy tale note, like it starts with like a car crash that seemingly disappears and this harmonium is randomly dumped on the street to which he goes and takes. Yeah. And it's like already I think that's like, okay, we're in for some kind of unconventional flick, and just how it plays with the sound, and it's so quiet and so loud, and it's like, this is not a regular movie.
It's a strange world from like the get-go. I think it's a very like, honestly, and like you can preface so many of these Paul Thomas Anderson films by being like, hey, this is a Paul Thomas Anderson film, like just so you know what you're kind of getting into.
Yeah.
But I actually think that this almost more than any of them actually has this kind of heightened reality, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like to the point of the car crash at the very beginning, the movie starts with like Adam Sandler, Barry, in this behind this desk, and then everything.
Barry
Egan. And he's just like, I think it already is just, he's like alone in this almost like warehouse. And I think it already is creating this kind of like liminal sort of space and this strangeness to it. It's just, that already just like sets a tone. I think the film is trying to like poke at that this isn't, it's not like, I was trying to describe this the best as I could to like Sinead. I was just like, I feel like it's not like it's trying to like cheat reality, and like I think we were talking about like this unreliable narrator. Is Barry like an unreliable narrator? And I was like, I feel like the filmmaker's the unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So it's like yeah, we're in Barry's kind of perspective, but also it's like the whole world is kind of this heightened reality, this kind of like we've seen so many films that are like dream logic-y, but there was something about this one that was different.
And it's almost like how I kind of read the harmonium just rocks up in his life. It's like that tool is presented to him right as he meets Emily Watson's character. Yeah. And it's like, hey, here's a little gift to guide you through the next chapter of your life, because his life is so chaotic. Like his sisters are currently coming down on him. There's like stuff in the workplace that's going on. And in those moments, his like coping mechanism almost seems to be like playing a few notes on the harmonium to kind of like feel a rhythm back.
That's cool.
And then eventually like he's able to get himself to a point where he can love this woman and can go and fix his life with the power of love, you know?
Well, the conflict of the whole film, I think, like, which, I mean, throughout the film, he calls the phone sex line, and there's essentially, he's blackmailed by a bunch of people who work for that in Utah. And I think what's really, like, interesting about the conflict is like, the conflict, I think, is less about... It starts as like, they're going to ruin my life, but I think it becomes later like, no, they're going to get in the way of me loving this woman. Like they're going to fuck things up for me and this woman. And that's kind of that heightened, you know, sense of reality, and the stakes there become really fun.
Yeah, 100%.
And just wacky. It was just such a, I just think it was just such a, it was a very special presentation. And I think that like, I was telling my housemate Sam just how like it's the third of like Paul Thomas Anderson's films, but like how each one now, I think I've seen them all now. I think this one is like from Boogie Nights to Magnolia to this, you can just see how he's like refining and refining and refining. I feel like his sort of style. Yeah. And even though he's like so versatile, like such a dynamic director, but like I think he's just really like figuring out the kinds of stories he wants to tell and the ways that he wants to tell them. And I think that if I had to like compare this to any of his other films, it would be a little bit like Inherent Vice.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like,
I need to rewatch that one.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah, I first watched this film in uni because they showed us for uni, and me and our mutual friend Ramsey watched it for the first time together. And we constantly used the word bombastic to describe it. It's all of a sudden bombastic was like the buzzword of the year. Like everything, if it had any kind of like percussive stress, it was like, wow, that was a bombastic film. But it did. You're right about that refining, because I feel like now I associate Paul Thomas Anderson's films with that kind of like stress via the music and the camera moving, and like you think of There Will Be Blood and they're like walking across the oil fields as it's blowing up, and it's got that like Johnny Greenwood score going off, and it's like that constant. Yeah, the refining, and now to present day, one battle after another. It's got plenty of sequences with the percussive stress.
Where it's reminiscent of that. Yeah, that's what I mean. You can kind of just see like the prototype of where things are going to go with his filmmaking, and like Phantom Thread and all that. Like you can just sort of see, I think, inklings of that more than ever in this film.
Yes. So I love Punch Drunk Love so much. And I'm trying to not let last night get me down at all. It was just such a shock. Like, you guys didn't enjoy that?
It was really funny when you were sitting for me, like Shanae was there next to me and then Steph was next to her, and then you were at the end there, and the way I just saw you go like across both of them and be like,
really?
Everyone hates him. It was at the very end. It was so funny. But no, I don't think.
It wasn't hated. It was just a more defied expectations of a relaxy, comfy night,
which can be tricky. It can be very, very tricky when there are expectations at all for a film. Yeah, it can be really, really hard.
Well, what did you think? Because I avoided getting your opinion last night, and I feel like we've just talked about it generally today. But yeah, what was your experience watching it for the first time?
I think like To be really frank with you, I think I struggled in the first sort of 30-40 minutes for it to really, really like click with me. I think I was like along for the ride, but I was just sort of just like, you know, it's sort of just like when you're a little bit lost and you're just trying to find something to be like, this is what I can hold on to. I think I was sort of searching for that because I knew so little about the film, which was, again, like, to my benefit, I think, that I knew so little about it, aside from a few shots and a few moments. But so, like, I just kind of went into it pretty blind on that. And I really liked the phone sex scene. I thought that was really thought that was really fun.
Take, man.
That's insane. I really liked that. I really liked, obviously, like, the presentation and everything, but I think the moment where I sort of started, like, clicking with the film a lot was the moment when Barry goes downstairs, he leaves Lena, and then the reception lady at the desk is like, has just got a call from Lena, and is like, hey, I've got this call for you, for Barry. And Barry takes the call, and she's like, I really wanted to just kiss you just then, right? He's just left her apartment, he's about to leave, and then suddenly he's like, all right, I'm gonna go back upstairs and find her apartment and kiss her, and he can't find her apartment, and it is so funny. It's so funny and real, and he, like, at one point, like, goes out the back door and triggers the alarm and shit, and it's just like a bit of just like goofy fun, but still has like a bit of the anxious DNA of the film.
Yeah, I mean, I even though I'd seen it, I half expected it to be like the phone sex guys calling him of where he was,
100%.
but then
100%.
having that like shift was like, oh no, Barry is allowed to be happy. He is allowed to find love in his life and not be so on edge all the time.
I think I actually liked the romantic elements of the film probably the most.
Yeah,
I think that, like, for me, it didn't quite work for me, the climax of the blackmail and everything like that. I think that, like, perhaps with how things conventionally work, there's probably some anticipation for how that would play out. And I think it playing in this anticlimax was really funny.
Yeah.
Like, it was really funny.
Fuck you, you fucking pervert! That's that! I forgot how petty that, like, last...
Well, I think I just wanted to see more of Philip Seymour Hoffman, because
he's used sparingly.
Just literally anytime he's on screen, I'm just like, I just don't want this scene to end. He's just so great. But like I said, I think it's one of those ones that, like, ages a bit nicely with the time and just with all the space to sort of reflect on it. I think I felt the same way with, like, Licorice Pizza.
Yeah.
I think it's just there are these films of his that they really are, like, searching, you know? They're searching. They don't have, like, a destination in mind sometimes, and then so therefore they can feel a little bit not lost, but they can feel a bit like sort of what I said earlier, I'm just trying to find something to, like, clutch to.
Yeah,
and I think for some people, like, they might really struggle with that clutch, but then when it's all over, you're like, man, that was a really, like, unique experience. And it was, and again, I loved the presentation, I loved the music, I loved how it was shot, I loved this, like, reoccurring, like, blue flare that was throughout the whole film. There was something really ethereal, otherworldly about it, and these weird transition scenes with the colors and the
I think it's beautiful, man.
It's look, at the end of the day, like, I just you know, even if something's not totally for me, like, I love when I have just, like, I feel like this is a special movie.
Yeah,
it's something that stands out from the rest. And, like, I look at, you know, coming out in 2002 with all of this Sandler shit. And I love some of the old Sandler movies, don't get me wrong, but, like, a lot of it's just so, like, dumb. And I think it's so awesome for this director to just take not a gamble, but just, like, to just go
punt
with it.
At who Sandler is, and, like, seeing kind of what the deeper things he's doing in his performances and utilizing that to create this Barry character. Yeah,
he was legit, like, fantastic. Like,
I've seen so much Sandler, but he just bleeds away into this role.
His little ticks and movements, and just, like,
that enormous coffee cup. It's like, or the thermos that he's carrying around. Yeah.
And, like, when he's first getting blackmailed, he's like, you notice he's, like, walking backwards.
Yeah,
he's just doing this, like, little thing and I just, like, there's these little, like, sort of moments that I'm just like, man, like, you know, it's great when you're like, okay, now I can't see anyone else doing this role.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
The first time he rocks up to his sister's party and he, like, goes in the door, he hears that they're talking shit, he, like, goes back out and like tries again, but they're still talking about it. I'm like, oh man. And
that's almost like a classic Sandler movie moment. And I think that, like, there's got to be intentionality with casting him
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And, like, then people kind of expecting it to be like, oh, goofball Sandler. It's like, holy shit, like, this guy's, like, fucking troubled. He's really troubled. He's got these crazy anger issues. He's got these issues with his sisters, and now he's found something that like gives him meaning and grounds everything together, and it's love, and it's it leans into the soapiness of it. That's why I think that Licorice Pizza comparison is healthy, because it's like it reminds me a little bit of that kind of intentional naivety, you know what I mean? Like
the relationship in that movie,
just presenting it as a fairy tale and a bit like just a love story, and just kind of that's where it is kind of like a rom-com, you know. It's such a unique movie. It's just like a really, really unique movie. I'm definitely keen to rewatch it one day. And
I love like the pudding of it all.
The pudding was awesome.
And just like, he doesn't even get to utilize the deal in the movie. Like, he tries to go to Hawaii, but it's like the 6 to 8 weeks. It's like, God damn it, all this pudding. And it's like, it's so, it just colors in that character so well, where it's like, he's never been on a plane before, but he's like, if I get all these frequent flyer miles, I'll never have to pay for a flight again. It's like, you don't go on flights.
But now he's got like a reason to follow this woman around wherever he goes, which I find really, really sweet. And I've just confirmed it now. That is the last PTA movie. That's completed it. I've seen them all.
Oh, nice.
Holy
Congratulations,
shit.
man.
Wow.
I'm still,
that's crazy.
What was before, it started Boogie Nights.
Boogie.
And it was Hard 8, one of his, or was that like...
Fuck.
Do you know about Hard 8?
I don't know about Hard 8. Is it a feature or a short?
It's a feature.
Oh, shit. Hard 8, you're right. 1996.
Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that.
Okay, I think that's both of our...
I was so
that's
close.
both our final PTA film to watch then. We'll have to watch Hard 8 and
John
then
C.
come back.
Reilly, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, dog.
Philip Baker. Why did
I think it's like indie as hell.
Original title, Sydney. Yeah, okay, shit.
Well, you lied to me.
I'm sorry.
You lied to me.
That's crazy. I didn't even know this movie existed. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Well, we did watch a couple films recently.
We saw a double feature.
At the blessed Brunswick Picture House.
Shout out.
The President's Cake followed by The Drama, which is an interesting double feature.
Yeah.
But I also think it was a great contrast, and I couldn't have watched two movies like The President's Cake, and I couldn't have watched two movies like The Drama back to back.
Definitely.
But I thought they were both brilliant. I had a lot of fun.
It was the Barbenheimer of our...
Yeah, it was. President's Cake x The Drama.
They were really, really different films, and it just so happened that we just had this like double screening figured out. But they were, I think we both loved both of them. So...
We started with The President's Cake, which is about Iraq going through like they're hoarding like food and medical supplies and like
from sanctions and
and like the working class people are barely getting anything, but everyone is still required to celebrate Saddam Hussein's birthday.
No.
So this girl who is selected to make a cake in her school, and it's just a horror story of a day of her trying to make this cake.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very stressful. You kind of keep thinking, oh, like this is gonna go wrong, and it just kind of keeps going wrong for her.
It's all like a step forward and 2 steps back.
Yeah,
it's just horrific. The amount that just simply trying to bake a cake ruins her life.
She needs to essentially, she like has to collect all these ingredients, and there's only like 3 or 4 ingredients. Like it's just a simple cake, and it's symbolic, right? Like it's not literally meant to be given to Saddam Hussein. It's literally just like, clearly she's probably one of so many classes that that's just by almost like a raffle picked a student to be like, you're gonna bake the cake, and she takes it upon herself like as, you know, really serious. I need to bake this cake.
Yeah, it's so important to them. And it's so, like, they knew from the get-go that it would be a terrible disaster if she was picked. Like, her grandma's like, oh, I just asked to go to the bathroom, like, do this, that, and the other thing to avoid the raffle. We cannot make this cake. Just a cake, man.
I know. It's just a cake. And it's just, like, it being this tiny little thing in the whole spectrum of the movie and everything that the country's going through. And it's a beautiful thing to sort of being to show someone in like such a impoverished situation, in such a tough situation, and how one item of food and the means of making that is like a whole ordeal. Like the movie takes place pretty much over 1 or 2 days. Yeah, but like most of it's just in the
it's
one
like the day before and the like day after. Right?
Yeah, and I just love how like touching that was. And this amazing child actor, which I just had her name up here, Banin Ahmad Naif, and I saw her in the trailer for the film because I've been going to the Brunswick Picture House so often, and the trailer plays for like every film, and I'm just like, every time there's this little line in it, there's this little line that she says, and I'm like, man, she's so amazing. Like, it just like makes me emotional to think about how beautiful her performance is, and in that scene in particular. And so I was like, I actually just want to see this film purely for her.
Yeah.
I was like, purely for her, I want to see it. And she like knocked it out. I was like,
yeah, she's the highlight of the film. Just the amount of
God.
time we spent with her was so blessed.
And something else that was incredible I loved was the choice of music, and it was very sparing. It was very sparing, but it came, I don't know what the instrument is, but it's like a stringed guitar-like instrument that comes just at some pivotal moments throughout the film, like when her grandma, because of her old age, she's like, I literally can't care for you anymore. I can't take care of you. And so she's about to like give the main character off to another woman to be raised. And then this score just comes in, and it's so powerful in this little girl's eyes, and I'm like, oh my God, it's making me emotional to think about it right now.
It's just quite like folky as well, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like, it's not like
It's not like a
terrifying
score.
theme. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't. It played so well with its contrast because it almost wasn't matching the mood, but it kind of made it so. Like, both things were true. Like, it matched and it didn't match in a way.
For sure. I think that the film definitely didn't have like we say it was heavy, and it absolutely was. But it wasn't, to me, it didn't like drain my soul like Sirat did, for example.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
It wasn't something that was like that pummeled me to pieces. It was, I still think like a younger person could go and see this movie and actually get like a lot out of it. I really do. I think that it was like very universal and very touching, and again, just a really, really incredible sense of like setting and place, and it was just you felt like you were right there. It had this incredible sense of space, and
Oh yeah.
I was just like, and obviously it's only meant to be 30 years ago, but it was, the atmosphere and the production was awesome.
It made a living, breathing city. Like, it's the whole like, oh, we've got to go into the city to get these ingredients, and then once you're there, it's like it's sprawling.
And from the eyes of this child. You know, this little child with like a backpack, she's carrying around this rooster the whole movie in like a cot kind of thing tied to her, and she's got this backpack, and I'm just like, man, this is just like, holy shit, this is just a kid like in this alone in this situation.
My favorite part of the film is spoilers. Just the ending, how it shows Saddam Hussein on his actual birthday,
the real
back
footage
on that actual day, and it's just like the entire movie is shot kind of really cleanly. Like, the images are beautiful and it's really HD. Then you cut to this like camcorder VHS footage, and it's like, in a way, it's also like, this is how different the worlds are from being on the ground in Iraq versus like their leader's abode, and it's just like so grand, and it's such a spectacle.
The cake's like 5 meters tall.
Yeah,
like
the
his
cake's
actual cake
fucking enormous. And it's
so
just, wow,
stupid,
the
man.
contrast of that is insane, and I think it was the perfect way to end the film.
It was.
Like, she manages to make this cake, but then like they're bombed, and
They're
like
bombed
the cake blows up.
Yeah, by the Americans. And that's another really like part of the film, I think, is these people being caught in between these two violent giants. You know, you've got the Americans who are penalizing the country for the actors of its ruthless dictator Saddam Hussein. And so by the end of it, like, you really don't see it coming as well. Like, they're talking about how the Americans have bombed us, they're bombing and throughout the whole film.
Yeah. But
then the classroom at the end, they present the cake, the teacher's happy, she gets an applause, and the Americans start bombing. The cake is destroyed, half the fucking classroom explodes. And then the two kids, throughout the whole movie, the main character and her friend, they do this like staring contest thing, and then they have to do it with each other at the end to focus on the fact, to take away from the fact that they could a bomb could just drop on them at any moment.
Yeah.
And that was just like crushing. And I actually genuinely, I was like, man, please don't end this movie with just like them staring at each other and then, boom, you know, like I didn't know if it was coming, and I was like, I can't after Surat. I can't do this again.
Do you think they play that game because of in the past maybe they were in a bombing situation and they just found that, and like it's just they like just do that as like a coping mechanism?
I didn't even consider it.
I just thought of it then.
But well, it's just like being a child. It just, to me, it's just like, it's no matter how serious their situations are, they're still just children. They're gonna play like a little game as children, you know. And it's crushing. And so like the film, the ending was so impactful. The ending was so impactful, like you said, seeing Saddam's cake and the footage of his actual ceremony, and then the people under him that are also getting screwed from the other side.
Yeah.
In these attacks. And so it was amazing. It's still in theaters.
Yeah.
At least
by the time this comes out, maybe it's
maybe not. But right now it is. But if you can see it, check it out. It's crept up a bit in its popularity, and I'm really glad that I saw that trailer. Yeah. And then I was like,
glad you invited me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then going and watching the drama was like, it was like it alleviated kind of the weight of what we saw, but it was also like a lot in its own sense.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, the drama is a crazy movie.
Yeah,
and you should absolutely go and watch it before knowing anything about it.
Yeah.
Especially like people have probably seen the trailer where it's like you don't find out what she reveals when everyone's like, what's the worst thing you've ever done? And Zendaya's character says something so atrocious that throws her and Robert Pattinson's wedding plans into the air.
So they're about to get married, and then essentially they're days away from their wedding.
Yeah.
And then essentially Robert Pattinson's character discovers something about his fiance, played by Zendaya, that completely derails this upcoming wedding. And it's a question of, is it even going to go through or not?
Yeah. And look, I had a lot of opinions about the actions of the characters and just how this film ends. But I think, it's such a smart writing choice to put this realization like days before the wedding, because you're already stressed out of your mind trying to plan a wedding, let alone this new information that is like thrown your friends into disarray. It's like, and Robert Pattinson's character really fixates on things, and he like spirals when talking about it with other people, and it's like, okay, I can see how this wedding day got so out of control.
And I think the tension of all of that, and it being like this last minute, the wedding's any moment, like I need to figure out, is this gonna happen? Am I gonna marry this person for real?
Yeah.
Adds to just this heightened comedy. Like, it's so fucking funny. It's such a funny movie.
Yeah.
But it deals with really like real shit. You know what I mean? It's not like, we've talked about Punch Drunk Love and the heightened sense of reality. I don't think this is a real world movie, but it's like it plays with people's emotional, subjective worldview a lot.
Yeah.
And it does that in the presentation, which is really fun. Like, you'll see a conversation take place, and you'll see sort of how someone thinks it's going to take place before it actually does take place. There's some really awesome editing decisions that are just like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's like a very sleek 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah,
where
true.
It's just like, it's so subconsciously edited. Like it cuts together so well the way that they show these little like thoughts of different realities, and I loved it.
I think that carried the film. I think it was incredible. I just thought that like the editing was the biggest thing for me. I was like, holy shit, like,
yeah, me too.
It was just really unique for that.
Which brings me to probably my biggest take about the film, and I would say probably click away now if you haven't seen it. Come back another day. This is the rest of what we'll be talking about this episode.
Spoilers.
But just the ending where the wedding's gone awfully. Rob Pattinson's back at home. He's like, fucked it. Zendaya's off she's somewhere.
Yeah.
And then he goes to a diner and they reconvene, and it's like they're kind of restarting their relationship or just like restarting what's just happened. Well, I just think that that's a hallucination. I think Rob Pattinson imagined this scenario where they come back together and can just do it all again. He can right his wrongs. Zendaya can play it a bit differently. I just think he's there lying on his floor in his apartment, just like imagining like a brighter day. I essentially think that he screws it all up.
Yeah. I didn't think about it until you mentioned it. I was like, it's an interesting point, given how the film was presented up to that point.
Yeah. It just felt like a bit of a fantasy to me, and just the way that they did some of those shots in the diner, I'm like, this feels a bit outside of reality in a way.
So interesting.
I might think of it differently if I rewatch it, but just first impression was like, this can't be real. And I was also so on Zendaya's character's side, because I was like, Rob Pattinson is just fixated on this too much. He's told people he's cheated on his fiance like a day before their wedding, and it's like, I just think he just turned into a big fiery wreck and was not able to reconcile with like his fiance's past actions.
I think the balance of it was awesome for me, and I think that's I love when, in a painful way, I love when there's two characters and I feel for both of them and they're kind of hurting each other, and I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
I think that was like probably the most fun for me, because the film is like, I mean, I know we've sort of spoiled a little bit of the ending, but like, I won't give away the whole thing, but like, I think it's such a great conundrum of what would you do in this, if in Pattinson's situation, you know what I mean? Like, what would you do? And I think that so many people, anyone who's been in a relationship, if you learnt this about your partner and you're about to fucking get married in 3 days, how would you react? What would it be like for you? And I think that obviously you don't want to spoil the film for people, but also like that hook is, I think, a big draw about this. I think if this didn't have like Zendaya and Robert Pattinson in it, and it was just, they were more like random actors, you'd need to sort of do more heavy lifting on the premise, because the premise, it doesn't seem like a lot.
Yeah.
On face value,
both
if you
of
don't
them
know.
are so good.
They're
like,
fucking amazing.
And their chemistry together, it's like, and I've seen them both in so many things, and especially with Zendaya, I've struggled with in the past, like, I still just see you for who you are. Where in this film, I was like, they both melted away so beautifully. I really, really enjoyed it. If maybe they had more time to talk about it and to talk it through, maybe they could have succeeded. It's this wedding pressure that really seems to derail it. And that's where I say, if I watched it again, I may think differently, because I've got more time to like empathize with both characters and what this is brought up.
I think it's like one of the strongest emotional points about it. It's really funny, but it's like, you feel, because again, you can't help but go, what if I was in that situation? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think it's a very personal sort of touch.
What if I started seeing my girlfriend's teenage self walking beside me, and
so funny,
the thoughts she was thinking back then and the things she was going through?
But like, it's so funny that the film can do that. The film can do that and be really funny, as opposed to like, if the tone was just different, you could turn this movie into the most scary like drama. Do you know what I mean? Where like, slight spoilers, but like, where he's like afraid of her, right? Like, he's actually scared of her because of something she did in her past, or almost did in her past. You could, it could be like a really like creepy movie. Yeah. But it's played for laughs, not in like a way to like fully make light of it, but in a way that is just like, it's just really fun and charming. It's just a really charming movie. Yeah. I really liked it.
Maybe this is a problem with me, but I got over it quite quickly of like what Zendaya had done. I was like, okay, I mean, so people have troubled teenage, like I've known people in their teenage years that they were really, really troubled, and they did think some really horrible shit, and have managed to get past it, and they're different people now. Yeah. Like, I thought Alana Haim's a terrible thing that she did was like almost more awful. Yeah, she went ahead and like traumatized this kid.
Yeah. I think, for sure. I think each person will view it all like really differently.
That's my favorite part about the drama, is I think it really encourages conversation afterwards. Like, I don't think there is one answer. I think everyone's going to take away something different from this film. Sure. And that's why I think it's such a fun one for everyone to go watch now and talk about it.
100%. I think anything that creates a lot of conversation is awesome. And I'm just learning now that Ari Aster produced it.
Oh, there you go.
He was one of the producers. Shout out to our goat.
Our goat. Everyone go watch Eddington and Beau is Afraid. Please. But yeah, it's just a testament to the tone of it and how it managed to balance. Like, it's a film that everyone can go see. It's not going to be like a depression fest. It's not like Definitely a Snowtown. No. It's like a fun poppy flick with these really heavy themes.
Yeah, for real. It's just an awesome blend of like, I know people flock to see a film like this mainly because of the stars in it. But like, it provokes conversation. We were talking about it heaps when we left, and it was a really nice kind of counterweight to the president's cake.
Yeah.
it was just a nice, like, all right, we needed a good laugh, and a nice thing. It all came as a nice big package. So yeah, definitely recommend people go see it.
Yeah.
If you can even not watch the trailer.
Yeah, I thought, I had a point about it too, that I thought the trailer actually was a detriment to the film, because it's not like a very sprawling film. It's it's like narrow in what it's exploring and what it's going to achieve. Well, not narrow, but I think you know what I mean, where like the trailer's moments played out a lot of like the strong beats of the film. So I was like, oh, we haven't seen that bit from the trailer, because it was very memorable in the trailer compared to like a Marty Supreme trailer where it is showing like a lot of ambiguous like running around and things happening, and like I thought so much less about the trailer watching Marty Supreme than I did with the drama, and I was trying to figure out why.
That's interesting. Yeah, like I said, I think just selling the premise is so hard, because the premise on it, without knowing what's the big secret, I guess that is the hook. What's the big secret? But you gotta kind of get people on board as much as you can, and trailers, like, that's the hardest thing, right?
And then it turns into, it has to like be good enough that the word of mouth is going to carry it around. And I think a lot of people are going to see it because they're like, oh shit, that's actually good. All right, sick.
100%. No, we had a blast.
We did. So go see it.
Go see it.
That's all we've seen recently. So I'm wondering if we want to introduce like some movie recommendations that we can bring back to the next episode. Some favorites from our pasts or presents. And
I'd love to. I'd love to kind of like set up on each episode we just.
We're not recording in bulk.
Well, when I was looking through my Blu-rays, I was like, what am I gonna suggest? Fucking Joel. I was like, Joel's seen every fucking movie here.
Well, I've got Titanic still, which I haven't seen.
You do. Holy shit. Okay.
But I would for you, I'm gonna push I Saw the TV Glow.
Yes.
Similarly, a Blu-ray that you've held on to of mine for a while, and I'm just so curious to know what you think about that film. Mm-hmm. And I want to watch it again as well, so I can talk about it more.
Let's do it.
So maybe let's chuck that one on soon.
My one for you, and I've talked about it recently, and I know you want to watch it, is Dog Day Afternoon.
Yeah. Wow. I've not put it off, but I've always seen the poster of that and the premise, and I'm like, that looks like so much fun. A Sidney Lumet film, right?
Yeah. It's just cool. It's sick.
Thank you.
It's really sick.
It's almost relieving because now I know I have to watch it.
Yeah, right.
It's gonna get done.
And I feel the same with I Saw the TV Glow. I'm really keen for that. It's an Aussie movie, right?
Oh, I couldn't say. I don't think so.
What did I think it was? Or maybe I think confusing.
I don't know. The one film that the director made beforehand was We're All Going to the Fair, or We're All Going to the... Look it up so I'm not butchering this. But it was a really lo-fi, like, young girl in her bedroom on the internet, and just getting really kind of going into some weird spaces.
We're all going to the World's Fair.
We're all going to the World's Fair, yeah. I haven't seen that one, but I know that was like a really kind of indie production, and now she's found, I think I Saw the TV Glows, an A24 film. They've now given her the platform to make something bigger, and I think she did such a great job with it.
Sick. The atmosphere, looks sick.
Great.
Awesome.
Well, that'll do it, son.
That'll do it, everybody.
Thank you for listening. Go watch the drama The President's Cake and whatever we talked about.
Punch Drunk Love.
Punch Drunk Love. The goated Adam Sandler film. It doesn't get better than that.
Holy shit.
Bye.
Bye-bye.